the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA.
We are about 40 miles or so south of Candlestick Point at a place that first opened back in 2014 as you get a look at Levi's Stadium here in Santa Clara, California. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
2nd and 6. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And Rudolph has it, the tight end. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. Oh, but this is going to backfire as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, 20. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
This is taken at the 3. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
2nd and 4. Wide open receiver complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The play began back at the 23, and they pick up 23.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Bowen, and he finds McDonald. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 28.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around it.
Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. DeForest Buckner in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week, and we just saw their first one of this game.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. It's not too often you see a holder putting that football down right on the midfield stripe. 60 yards, Charles, but a little bit too much to bite off there.
Yeah, it's good to show confidence in your kicker. That might have been just a little bit too much. I'll guarantee you, as you just
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cameron Jordan has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A gain there of 21 yards.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Throwing again here on 2nd down, this time complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. They'll get a dozen there, and it's a 1st down, 49ers. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The 1st down throw for Winston. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Now we've got whistles and a timeout here. Yeah, it looks like we've got a 49er that's down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Jameis to throw it. His throw caught at about the 5. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Working out of the gun, Winston. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Extra point try, good by Gano. And that'll make the score 14-0. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
Get ready.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
On the ready.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Here we go, D. It's just me.
Toss play, Kamara. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
You go.
You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
The Saints on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Operating from the gun. Bowen, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10.
Switch.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move, and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
A throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 13 yards there and a Niner 1st. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the gun, Winston. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st. Winston of the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. It'll go as a first down for San Francisco on a pickup of 16.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
To throw, Winston. Flushed out right. That's going to be caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Call that a very strong gain of 24. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side.
And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Gano the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Gano now following the touchdown, here to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Bowen. He gets it to Thomas. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On 1st and 10, Bowen. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 14 yards is the pickup. 1st down, New Orleans.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Back to throw. Bowen, a fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Thomas, the intended target.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Now a 1st down run is sniffed out from the start, as they'll drop him for a loss of 4. And the 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And that is no good. Oh, he missed it just wide of the upright. So we've hit halftime here in Santa Clara. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 2nd and 5 now. Winston. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Cameron Jordan in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
3rd and long for Winston. He's going to fire one deep and got his man complete. The 20, 10, touchdown, 49ers. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This fielded at the 2. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. On the ground, this is Kamara. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Bowen. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this was just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the road to be fairly clear
by the time we have to
leave the booth. You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both.
Now the ball comes loose, and this is picked up by the Saints. And a cut to the right and some open field here. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Looking to throw on second down. Bowen. That's caught. It's Thomas. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens...
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Von Miller in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Looking to throw. Bowen.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And his kick is indeed good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag? You just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Check, 47.
Winston. Open man is Higgins. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Back to throw. Bowen. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
Now a throw left sideline here is complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll be a Saints 1st down on a gain of 16 yards.
60 yards. 6-6. Pull it high. Switch.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. We have played 3 quarters, and that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Come on, set. 10 logo. Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it. Get it.
To throw on 2nd down. Bowen. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. The Saints on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Here we go with Kamara. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. Alvin Kamara unable to push past that yellow line. And the 49ers are going to get the football back. And they've now made 2 trips to the red zone and still looking for their first touchdown.
Not able to punch it in, and if you're on defense, your confidence is sky high. Because mentally, you're saying, hey, you're in the red zone. We're thinking we're giving up 3. We just want to give up 6. In this case, they end up not giving up the touchdown at all. They've got to feel great about what they got done.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll try the left side. McFarland. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid of me. Wait.
On 3rd down, Winston. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty. And it's 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Saints coming out now to take the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. The Saints on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 7. Looking to throw. Bowen. Open man is Michael Thomas. The play began back at the 23, and they pick up 23. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up the 1st down.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down. Here's Winston. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down. Despite the lead here in the fourth, they're still taking shots.
Not content to sit on this lead at all. And to me, it raises the question of what's right in this game nowadays. Do you sit on the ball and run it because you have enough of a lead? Or do you try and extend it because you always feel like the other team can come back?
Extend it. Have some fun. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him... Oh, here's pressure, and the Saints block it. And they will wind up with the football and the possession. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Quincy Enunwa, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints make some inroads here to that deficit. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
And the 49er hands team does its job. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game...
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
Let's not not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Back to throw. Bowen. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. It'll be a Saints first down on a gain of 16 yards. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Looking to throw. Bowen. This is complete to Michael Thomas. Now they got to get to the line quickly. 2nd and 6. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 25-yard line. He's having a big game through the air, and sometimes those smart decisions just dump it off. That's how you continue to have big games through the air.
I agree totally. That's a great analogy, a great way to put it, because he doesn't get too greedy where everything has to be pushed downfield, trying to create big plays that aren't there. You dump it off and take that nice gain, and things add up, and now you have the kind of game he's having.
A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
And the 49ers getting set to trot out there. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. On 1st down, McFarland. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards there and a Niner first. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll try the left side. McFarland. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So the victory here for San Francisco, and when you